Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
All right, welcome back. And we are so excited to have you here again with us on Amazon Live. Thank you for all of the comments that we see on Amazon and some of our other platforms. We appreciate you as we feature co-authors in our 7th book collaboration, Positioned to Pivot. We are excited. In the virtual studio, we're going to be bringing up to the mic right now Crystal Jones, and you'll find her chapter in Position to Pivot, titled Crossroad Chronicles, Inner Wisdom for Life's Uncharted Territories. Put your virtual hands together as we welcome Crystal into the virtual Amazon studio. Hello, Crystal. Live and in living color. Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be with you.
We are excited to have you and excited about your chapter in this book collaboration. And so we'd love for you to introduce yourself to our viewers and our upcoming readers.
Absolutely. So as you all know, my name is Crystal Jones. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a psychotherapist here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I own a practice, a therapy practice called Life Source Counseling Center, where I work with Black, Indigenous women and other women of color to just work with them on their wellness journey. We work with them so they can feel seen, heard, and acknowledged as they navigate this wellness journey. So I'm also a trainer and a consultant for Internal Family Systems Institute. I'm also a mom and a wife of over 20 years. And so those are things that I'm really proud of as well. And I guess I'm a co-author now, right?
Yes, adding it to the list, adding it to the list. So thank you for such transformational work and powerful work that you do, certainly in the community that just impacts all of us. And shout out to 20 years married. Like that's nothing to shake a stick at. So
it's big. Thank you.
So amongst all of that, you found time to write this amazing chapter in Position to Pivot. So tell us about your writing process. What was that like for you?
Yeah, well, this process has been really reflective for me because I feel like I am at a crossroads right now, right? I've been really reflective of what it was like to start a therapy practice in my 20s, right? And now moving into my 40s and, kind of rediscovering how I want to work and, all of the leaps of faith that it took to get here that sometimes I didn't even realize that I was taking. And so as I was writing this, I was just really reflective of, okay, all right, you didn't just show up here. Like this has been a journey of both wins and some failures with that, right? And all of it was so important for me to have the lessons that I have now. So I'm really excited. I was really excited about the process of writing this because it was really calming to my system to see the journey. Right.
I love that. And I think this book, Position to Pivot, is going to be really great for people who are finding themselves at a crossroad, whether that's career, whether that's business, whether that is life transitions. And so let's give a little bit of a sneak peek into your chapter. We'd love for you to share any sound bites or clips from your chapter.
All right. So I'm going to turn because I have a screen up and I want to share it with you all. Let's see. So in my book, I talk a lot about what it was like to become an entrepreneur, start a business, fail at it really big, and just feeling the pain, the sting from failing, and also kind of getting back up, right? Doing the work to kind of get back up and try it again. And so this is just a passage around that. And it says, what I have come to realize is that clarity brings its own guidance. When I am in alignment with the message, I never have or need to chase opportunities. They tend to find me because I'm ready for them, whether I feel capable or not. I'm still learning that perfection and knowing all there is to know are not prerequisites and are hardly ever attainable. And as Mother Oprah Winfrey wisely says, it's where preparation meets opportunity. And it seems I was unknowingly preparing all along. And so
Ooh.
that's, yeah. So even in the spaces where I thought I was failing, it was part of the preparation,
Mhm.
just to be right here, right now. So I feel really grateful for that.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to the word position, in our title. And it's very interesting that you were reflective of all the things that were happening. We're positioning you, preparing you all along.
That's
Wow.
right.
Can you share anything else, any other nuggets to whet the reader's appetite?
Yeah, part of that too was I talk about a lot of therapy work,
Yeah.
and really like it's like I know a lot of times like we're pushing through, right? We're in a society where it's push through your feelings, don't feel your
Mm.
feelings, like keep it moving, keep going, right? And in my book, in my chapter, I really talk about how that didn't align with my body. My body was saying, we're
Oh, wow.
scared. My body was saying, wait a minute, you're going too fast. Don't push past me, right? And so
Yeah.
in my chapter, I talk about really listening to those parts of me that held fear, pausing, right, and not moving
Yeah.
past that, and listening to those parts of me that um, felt like, well, who is she to step out here and do this? Imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
But really listening to all of those parts, getting some clarity on where that came from, and then coming into agreement with those parts to say, okay, let's try a little bit at a time, right? We don't have to push through, we don't have to rush through, but we can try this a little at a time and then check back
Mhm.
in and see how we do, then come back in it again and do some more, right? And then
Yeah.
check in, right? This process of moving, not pushing through, and listening to my body, listening to the messages that my body is sending me about, how are we moving in this entrepreneurial world, right? Because the
Yeah.
world can be a hustle. My
Yeah.
system doesn't want to hustle. I don't want to hustle, right? I want to be intentional.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
And I'm so glad you mentioned that kind of in your chapter. Two things that came out for me was that step by step. A lot of times people will hear the word pivot and they think it's a whole like I got to spin all the way around when a pivot could just be a turn. Sometimes people think
that's
a
right.
pivot is I'm going north, now I'm going to go south, but a pivot could also be northeast or
That's
northwest.
right.
Just a turn. And also in your chapter, I love that you say how sometimes it feels like internally your small self, your child self is having a tantrum. Like, I don't want
Yes.
to do this.
Right, because it likes to be comfortable, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
introverted naturally, right? And so, my inner child is like, nope, we like being in your little office right here. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to be seen, we don't want to be judged, right? We just want to be in the back all comfy, right? But
Yeah.
there is a calling for me to do more, right? And
Mm.
so I have to work with that younger part of me to see
Yeah.
what it's holding so I can be about the business that I'm called to do. Like
Wonderful.
I really feel that. Yeah, and I like how you talk about, pivot can be in increments because there's
Hmm.
a there's also a part in my book where I said, my increment was, let's just say yes this year. I got on my Shonda rhymes, right?
Yes.
Of yes. And I was like, okay, this year I feel a little bit more courage, right? I have a little bit more
Mm.
courage to say yes to some of these opportunities that are coming my way, right? And so a lot of opportunities came just from my yes. And I didn't always know that I could do it or, if I felt like the best person for the job. But when asked, I said yes. And that opened me up to see, oh, she can do it. Oh, we can do this, right? Like, so yeah, it was
Wonderful.
small
Wonderful.
pivot moments.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
those that are watching and hanging out with us on Amazon Live, Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes is what we're referencing. And it's actually in my Amazon store. So you should be able to,
Oh,
wherever
cool.
you're watching, should be able to go and grab it and add it to your cart. And so after reading your entire chapter, you maybe one thing that you want readers to walk away with.
Yeah. I think it's kind of the theme of what I've been sharing, right? Is that
Yeah.
We don't have to push through, right? We can take our time. We can see what feels in alignment,
Mm.
right? We don't have to go with that push and pull. We can really listen to our bodies, and make decisions based off of what our body's saying versus what we think we need to be doing or what social media is telling us we need to do, right? We can listen to our bodies, and there is going to be a healthy dose of fear that comes with this, a healthy dose of discomfort.
Mhm.
I always feel like, okay, that this is going to be part of it, but it doesn't have to overtake me, right? So when it's not overtaking me, for me, that's my cue that, I can move a little bit more. I can
Yeah.
move a little bit more. Mhm.
Well, we
Yeah.
are so excited that your chapter is in Position to Pivot, this upcoming book release. And I know that your schedule is packed and full and all of that. But if there are people that are saying, oh, wow, what she offers, I need a speaker or we need corporate training or what have you, where should they connect with you?
Yeah. So you can connect with me at support@lifesourcecounselingcenter.com. I'm also on Facebook under Crystal Jones, right? I'm old school, y'all. So just you can hit me up on email. You'll get in contact with my assistant, as well as you can get to me on social media as well.
All right,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, thank you for being here on Amazon Live with us. And we're going to keep this train moving.
Mhm.
And more
Thank you.
importantly, thank you for your chapter and your work.
Oh, thank you so much, Charvette. Have a good one.
All right, thank you. All right, listen, I'm telling you, we want you all to pre-order thousands of these books, thousands and thousands. Yes, we want you all to pre-order thousands and thousands. You can reach out to each individual co-author. If you are watching and and you know them and you're connected with them, you can place your pre-orders with them. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to be back with another co-author spotlight. I wanted to take time and just record this because I want to applaud you for realizing that it's time to get off of the sidelines, that it's time to stop hiding behind your brand. And I want to applaud you because you realize that your expertise is needed in the marketplace. Your customers are looking for you. They're looking for your transformational services. And this challenge is going to help you with positioning, authority in your market, and visibility. And so I'm really excited that you are taking part in this challenge, and I look forward to working with you as a part of this challenge. Go ahead and complete the sign-up form, and we're going to get started and get into it. All right, we are back and we are keeping this train rolling with our author spotlights. We're so excited to have all of you that are here with us on Amazon Live as we chat about our 7th book collaboration, Positioned to Pivot. We have our next author in the virtual studio ready to come up to the virtual stage. And so we want you to put your hands together as we welcome Shan-Nel D. Simmons to the Amazon stage. Hey, Shan-Nel.
Hey, how are you?
I
How are
am
you today?
doing well. How are you doing today?
I am great.
Wonderful. Well, we are certainly excited to have your chapter of the road of change in this book collaboration. And before we get started, we'd love for you to just introduce yourself and tell our viewers and our listeners all about you.
So I am Shan-Nel Simmons. I am the founder and CEO and tax specialist, pretty much all the way around financial specialist of No Tax and Financial Solutions. And my basic background is I come from the corporate accounting world, but I also was a former IRS revenue agent. And those experiences basically gave me just a very wide wealth and different perspectives of financial circumstances and intricacies, and being able to help people resolve their financial matters all across the country, as well as in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So over the years, I've been able to save significant amount of money for individuals, organizations, and businesses outside of the money, protect their assets, their businesses themselves, their organizations, their licenses, and their way of life. So that's kind of the way.
Impactful work. Certainly an expert here. And so I know you are not new to writing, because let me see, how many other books do you have under your belt?
Oh goodness. Okay. So
put you on the spot.
Right. That are out. Okay. So there is mine, which is Asking for Success. Then there's the one that you and I did together, which is Get It Done. Then there is Speak Up with the Black Speaking Network. Then the one that just recently came out, which is Money Talks, Volume 3, where I had worked with, I was a part of a group of 24 other financial African-American financial experts of different kinds from different industries. And we just basically gave our gems. And now this, and then there's a few more actually that's on the way.
Wow. So the writing bug has bit you. So
it's been, I had a very literary path. So, it's basically me kind of returning to my first love. But yeah, I've been putting it on paper, putting my expertise on paper, so that way it's accessible to those in the masses.
And it is so needed. And so tell us about your writing process specifically for Position to Pivot.
So for this project, I will say this is probably the most personal I've been in anything that outside of Asking for Success. I would say Asking for Success was probably the very last time I was as personable, because Asking for Success was my first year. But for this was definitely, it was interesting because I was writing as I myself was literally just coming out of, and still kind of even right now going through the transition of elevating my company. So the mindset part of the elevation is now getting together and is now more I'm in the execution phase. Yeah. But when I was writing this just mere months ago, I was still kind of, wrapping my head around the fact that I've grown from what I had originally had asked for, dreamt of, prayed for, and that, I was moving into another phase. So it was very interesting to have to write that out while you're coming to full grips of your own elevation.
And so Position to Pivot, thank you for being personal and giving us a personal story in this book. What are maybe a couple of sound bites that you have? And I'm going to kick us off. I love how your chapter starts out saying, how do you change your strategy while maintaining your vision and your purpose? So that is the first opening question with your chapter. But a couple of sound bites you'd like to share to entice the viewers and potential and upcoming readers?
I would say, because I will say that was definitely one for me that I also because literally that is truly the question that I started off with for my own self. So I will say everything in that book was more so I was educating while also sharing basically where my mind literally was at that time. So yeah, that's where for me it takes it to a whole nother level. I'm gonna bring this up, so I apologize. But I will say, so I did, I quoted I'm a Jesus girl. So yeah, I quoted a part of the Bible. I'll be honest with you. And not so much to be on the religious side. I do want to say that it was more so, I always tell people the Bible is filled with such good nuggets for just ways of life and different perspective, different mindsets. So, outside of religion, it's just some really good key nuggets of just some ways to just think about your situation and where you're going through. You could let, everything else work on you, how it'll work, but really sometimes you might want to just pick it up every now and again. But I picked up Philippians, and it's a verse that a lot of people love, hold dear, but I expanded on it because and this is the NIV version, but I'm going to read it simply because I do want people to understand it was wrapped around this, which is, I am not saying this because I am in need, for I've learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Christ who gives me strength. And the reason I felt like I really wanted to just truly highlight that as the insight, and I even state in here that this was a valuable guide for me, because we always hear that verse, as encouragement, that or that all things are possible, which they are. But I really wanted to hone in on how being content regardless of your circumstance. And I explore that in the book. And I explore that, though, even in your contentment, it's still okay to want more. I believe a lot of times when we're pivoting, we think that maybe we're being ungrateful for the things that we have now going great in our lives.
Ooh, that's so good.
We're trying to elevate. And so and the truth of the matter, and this was something I had to come to grips with even for myself. So, we gonna get through this together, right? But seriously, and what's funny is I had literally went through that when I had left the government, when I left the IRS to start my own business. Before I actually pulled the gun and said, okay, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice and I'm going to go ahead and start my business. Back in 2016, I then had to give myself permission to say, it is okay to let the very thing that you at one time was aspiring to do, because I aspired to, I was like, I'm gonna go work with, I'm gonna do this tax thing, I'm gonna go for the head honcho, right?
Yeah.
So and I did, and had great success, left there on great terms, right? But it was time for me to elevate. And what's interesting is in this season in my life, although business is great, I'm very thankful to all my clientele out there. You guys are awesome. And being a part of your transitions and everything. But at the same time, I can feel that it's the same thing that happened to me 7 years before. Here we are again. It's a time to elevate, and more so, I feel like at this point now, it's expansion and being okay with, it's not being being ungrateful about expanding, but being okay with that. I'm content with the fact that I've done great and that I'm going to be okay with the more that's going to come, and it's okay to want more.
I am loving this conversation. The road of change. Again, you'll find Shan-Nel D. Simmons chapter in Position to Pivot. How can viewers, readers work with you, connect with you, all that good stuff?
So I have my website, which, will be back up and running very soon. But my website is notaxandfinancialsolutions.com. And I'm always on Instagram and YouTube. YouTube is where I try to give out any content, answer some of the questions that most people may have around taxes and finances. And then, of course, you can connect with me on LinkedIn if that's your space that you're in as well.
Wonderful. And are you accepting clients? Are you pretty much full and packed?
So we're going to do one last run through for clients this year as far as on the tax side. And then what I'm doing now is I'm basically getting together with organizations and working more with corporate entities and the governmental entities, and working with clients that way, as well as working in group programs, creating some group programs and workshops. So I have actually a future workshop that's coming up in September. I'm finalizing the location. I, matter of fact, talked to them this morning. I'm very excited. So more for that to come out. But yes, just, doing more of those things and going beyond just the one-on-one in what I've been doing. Although I enjoy one-on-one, like I said, I
Yeah.
love you guys that are my clients. There's more to be offered, and there's more lives to impact, and more work to be done. So I'm open
Well, I
to all
think
of
this
it.
is a perfect example of position to pivot right here, right here. Well, Shan-Nel, I'm telling you, our time zapped on by, but we are so excited that you're one of the contributing authors in this book collaboration, and we're just wishing you much more continued success.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be a part of this project. Like I said, it was a great way to cement this time that was in my life. And, I pray that, this is something that will not only help anybody who's in the season of their life now, but, in the future and in future years as well.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better. Thank you so much. All right. Wow. All right. Listen, y'all are getting all of the inside scoops from our co-authors today. So we're going to have a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in the virtual studio here on Amazon Live for our next author spotlight. I wanted to take time and just record this because I want to applaud you for realizing that it's time to get off of the sidelines, that it's time to stop hiding behind your brand. And I want to applaud you because you realize that your expertise is needed in the marketplace. Your customers are looking for you. They're looking for your transformational services. And this challenge is going to help you with positioning, authority in your market, and visibility. And so I'm really excited that you are taking part in this challenge, and I look forward to working with you as a part of this challenge. Go ahead and complete the sign-up form, and we're going to get started and get into it.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.